There are rules and regulations that you need to also look at on exhibiting, and all the requirements of naming a plant, anything to do with large exhibit. One of the rules also is that when you exhibit, it should be your own plant, something you've grown for at least 6 months. So now to exhibit, you can easily find one section that you might want to. So it's from roses to herbaceous, climbing, climbers, orchids, bromeliads. So there's something for everyone basically. And if you're starting out, the best thing to do is to start with, you would be an amateur. And once you've won a prize, then you become a novice. And from novice, then you can enter the bigger displays. Then you start out by, obviously, you'll go through your garden, you'll find pot plants that you want to exhibit, blooms that you know will kind of bloom around June. Don't pick a bloom that's just one, because you would have to change them over the 3 days. If they're not going to stay over the 3 days, you might end up having to change them every day. So you should have at least 4 or 5 blooms. If it wilts or if something happens to it, you can replace it once the judging is finished. If you do cross the description of a collection or display, you might find that your exhibit isn't judged. Read the rules very carefully of what they are asking you. So if they're saying this is an open category where they're saying display of 5 or more orchid plants, so there you can put accessories. If you look in the grocery, it'll tell you the description of what it displays. And with a collection, it would say plant display a collection of more than 5 or a collection of more than 10. Again, look at the number, because if you put, when it's not more than 5 and you put 6, it is likely to give you a setback against somebody who's done the right thing. Every category, every section, class has a single pot plant. So even in a bromelia, there's a single. In a rose, there's single. So you can put just one pot plant and start like that if you have never exhibited. When you start displaying, you should make sure that to begin with, your container is clean, attractive, but not dominating the plant. Say you have a potted plant and this is your space. To begin with, all space is set and separated by masking tape. So your specific space you will know from your entry. Some entries give you specific space, size, and some don't. But already where you are going to be allocated, the size is there. So you can't go beyond. So if you have a leaf that is going beyond, you have to do something about that. Either, I won't say chop it, but try to maneuver your plant so that it doesn't go in your neighbor's display. These edges can go inwards and you make it neat and tidy, and then your pot it's done. It's good to use very simple materials like this, and the other alternate you can use sometimes are Hessian, because that's natural and you can get it easily and it's not hard. So using other colors, it just distracts you from your plant. If you are exhibiting, say, bigger displays, or say collection of 5 potted plants, you can use things like bark, coconut fiber, sawdust, pebble stones. There are many things that people use to cover the base. If you are doing say blooms, then it's good to have a clear vase. It's good to have clear so that there's no distraction from it. And one of the things, a lot of times when people display, say, a creeper, you want to display a creeper. Now it's very hard because the creeper is always long with flowers, and how do you do it? So one of the ways you can do it is, say you take empty containers of any kind, you have your black material. If you have a bigger one, it'll go all the way across. This kind of display, if you have a big one, can be done at different heights. You can do this, and you can actually cover the whole thing. You can put say a potted plant on here to give different heights. Yeah, so you can actually, when you have your, say you're doing a display of 3 stages of roses. I think that's one of the categories. You can display them like this, or you can have different pots. So you can have a pot here, you can have a pot here, because that makes it a little more attractive rather than everything on a flat surface. So that's one of the ways of creating height. Make sure that your plant is in good condition. If there are dried, diseased, yellow leaves, try to, don't obviously chop them off and have a blunt end staring at a judge, but carefully try to hide it if you don't want to cut it, because there are plants which are unique yet have just 2 leaves or something and you don't want to cut one off. Make them look the best. And then you can name in several ways. So this is my favorite way of naming, and everything I've displayed I have kept names from before. So I usually cut a manila piece of paper you can get in any art shop, and I use a gel pen and just write the name, and then you can just put it in front of your vase or whatever. If you like, you can also do this. Cut a square, you can sellotape a skewer and write, and then stick it into your pot. Like that. Yeah. Or if you have many and you have a big display, then you can list them, and you can number the pots and then put a list on the side. We have a entry number and we have a class that you've entered. So the entry number would be here, and a class, and somebody is always there, and the title of your class, the class that you're entering. When judging finishes, they will turn it open like this, and that's when you'll see if there's a judge's comment, they'll write it here, and you'll see whether you won. Usually they have a first, second, third, highly commendable, so that will be as a sticker here. What the judges look at is how unique your plant is. So if it's going to be a commonly grown plant, you're going to get less for that. But if it's unique, or if it's a difficult one to grow, difficult to propagate, difficult to grow, then again they will pay attention to that. They'll pay attention to the condition of your plant, what kind of condition it is, and then they will pay attention to how neat and tidy your whole display is, how artistically you've done it, or how neat it is.